Jim, drop slate, please. Are we good? Are we up?
Okay, and then wait for his statement to do a second.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Good morning, Black Mamba. Good morning, Yoshi. How are we all doing? Sorry. Bella and Buddy's mom. Enjoying streams in the newsroom. Well, I'm glad to hear it. We're about to get ready here in a minute.
Okay. We got to start.
Can I see your card?
Nancy Johnson.
My what?
How are we doing? Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
You got it?
Yeah.
How are we all doing?
And are you sure you didn't want to do Ray J's?
David, I see you. Good morning, David. Everyone drop in the stream where you're watching this from.
Well, we're
Something
going to
we do every morning. What city are you watching this from? You're about to get ready in a couple seconds here. However, we'll walk into the middle of the newsroom.
I can't.
Good morning, Black Mamba.
People. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We want to ask him.
Right. Where is my pen?
All right, about to get ready. Everyone, if you guys could drop a like, that would be much appreciated. Only 85 viewers in this newsroom stream right now.
Hey, can I get some more Sharpies?
Nisi, good to see you, Nisi. Good morning. No flies, there we go. I love seeing the chat fly like that. That's beautiful. Compton, California, Nancy, I love it. Neil's watching from New York, 3 hours ahead, different time zone.
Okay, we're starting at Jackson. Okay.
All right, here we go, guys.
So, welcome everybody on YouTube. This is a big live stream day for us because we are going to use what we do on the live stream today to
relaunch TMZ Live. What you are seeing now is going to be TMZ Live.
We're going to cut this up. We're going to put it on the show, so it's not going to be on stage anymore. We're just going to do it in the newsroom, and you're going to see a lot of how kind of news gets pulled together and how we kind of work the room and how stories get up on our website and our television shows and whatnot. So,
and you'll also probably see sometimes when it doesn't work out.
So
also, the other really important part is that you are actually going to be part of this,
right,
because we're going to be, you can comment in real time, and we're going to try and get to some of your questions as we are putting this all together.
Okay, so we're going to start
the show
for the show right now. So we're going to kind of be bouncing back and forth because we need to do certain intros for the show. So we're going to start it right now.
Right.
And we haven't even talked about this. I don't even think we say welcome to TMZ.
No, we don't have to say welcome.
I think we start with Denise. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of big stories today.
Right.
And the first is Denise Richards has now responded to her divorce from her husband.
Right, and responded with some photos that are really gruesome. She says that she has been the victim of domestic violence at the hands of Aaron Pfeiffer's, her estranged husband, for several years now. And there are some really gruesome details that she has laid out in these documents, as well as producing some photos.
So the husband, remember, he filed for divorce right after the 4th of July
7th.
On that Monday.
And he
said
listed
that
July 4th.
July 4th was the date of separation. Something big happened on July 4th.
And now we know, because Denise details what happened on July 4th, and now we know why Aaron listed that as the date of separation. Has to do with an explosive fight that went down between them in Malibu. She says that basically it sounds like Aaron wanted her phone for some reason. She says that Aaron was determined to get my phone. He got in her face, according to Denise, and yelled at her, said a lot of profanities, demeaning her, and kept striking the bill of her hat, she said. She doesn't say that he actually struck her on that occasion.
But she says he attacked her.
Yes.
Over the phone. Do you know what is?
Do you know
what's crazy about this? It is Diddy-esque, because that's what Diddy argued happened
At
at
the
the
hotel.
hotel in
Right.
2016 at the Intercontinental.
Right.
It's just weird that it happens on the heels.
So she says that fight started on July 4th. She actually leaves the condo, the townhouse where they were at that moment, goes to another one they have across the street. She's there, and then on July 5th, he shows up there again, and much of the same happens with a lot of insults. So that's what happened on July 4th. That's why he says July 4th is the date of separation. But there are a whole bunch of other allegations
She's
in
saying
there
that,
go back at least 3 years.
And can I tell you something? There are two things. One is that I remember early on in TMZ, and I believe this might have been 2005, when she filed for divorce from Charlie Sheen. Right after the divorce petition was filed, she filed a long response to this divorce where she outlined, I think it was like 100 pages, outlining all the things Charlie had done. And the weird thing about this is it's kind of repeated itself.
She's doing the same with Aaron.
But here's the
here's
second
what we
thing.
gotta, I know, Jason, you have some of the details from the lawsuit, but we got to show people what
we should show
she
the
is
pictures.
alleging happened and what she's alleging Aaron did to her. This is from 2022. And she says that obviously he struck her.
Wow. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He says he struck her in the eye with the heel of his palm while calling her a bleeping bitch.
Is there another one?
I mean, it's more of the same.
It's more of the same.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I'm wondering about. California is a no-fault state.
Yep.
In terms of the divorce, there are no kids, so it's not like it's a custody issue. It doesn't really, legally.
For the purposes of the divorce itself,
legally,
it's
it
not
doesn't matter for the divorce.
That's right. That's right. But I mean, look, you can't fault her at all. She lays
I'm not.
out,
No, I'm not faulting
I
her.
know
I'm just
that.
saying it's not relevant to the divorce.
Right, but she lays out a laundry list. I mean, attacking her with a towel rack, hitting her, like I said, both hands and devices, threatening to kill her if she called the police at any time. It's always one of these things we heard in the Cassie trial over and over again in the Twitter sphere, right? Why didn't you go to police? Why didn't you go to police? Well, this is one reason why somebody like Denise Richards doesn't go to police, if you believe her allegations are true. She says that he threatened to kill her if she went to the police.
Yeah, actually, on that July 4th incident, she said there was a lot of that language also where he said, she said, I'm going to call the police. And according to her, Aaron said, go ahead and call the police. I will burn this place down. I will kill everyone. So
again, let me just explain this no-fault divorce. The majority of states, I believe, now have no fault, which basically means you don't have to show a reason for the divorce. And if you did have a reason, it's not going to penalize the other party because they were at fault in terms of getting spousal support or division of property or anything like that. In California and the majority of states, if you say, irreconcilable differences, which doesn't mean anything, you just say it. The judge grants the divorce, and it's not going to affect spousal support. Now, if there's a child, and it would put the child in danger, then it's relevant. Then it could affect custody.
But
But
they
here,
don't have children together.
they don't have children together, so it's going to be irrelevant.
Right, totally irrelevant. So it makes it more sort of interesting. I think that she included all this detail in the divorce, but obviously, for a good reason, tremendous bad blood between them. She wanted it to be known widely, and this was her opportunity to do that.
But she did that with Charlie, too.
She did that with Charlie, too, right? I guess it goes back to your point, right? This is her, when she...
Although with Charlie, there were kids. And that could matter.
There were. I bet we went back and looked at the laundry list. A lot of them would be irrelevant to the kids. I think it was bigger than that, but yes, she...
But what it also shows is that when people are in the public eye, image matters.
Yeah.
And that... we've seen this. I'll tell you, how many times have we seen stories where we get a call saying, I'm the one that went to the courthouse first and filed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who files first.
Right.
But they want to say, I left them, they didn't leave me.
Right.
And so image matters when it comes to celebrities. And I'm not saying so much this is an image issue, but it's not really a legal issue.
Right. Obviously, this is what Denise has said, but Devin, I know you talked
so
to
we've been trying to get in touch
Aaron
with
this
Aaron
morning.
since the divorce, obviously, right?
Right.
So he I reached out to him again this morning. Essentially, I believe he's going to be putting out a more in-depth thing, but he's obviously, for starters, just denying all the allegations, saying this is a conjured up story, and she's trying to save her image, similar to what you were just saying. That's what he's saying, and that he has all the real evidence, whatever that means.
Did he ever address the picture?
Yeah. I mean, not in this little. He's going to be coming out with something in more depth.
Did he tell you? How do you know this?
Ask him about, because it's interesting from that incident on July 4th. She acknowledges that he was trying to grab her phone. So you got to ask him. What was the deal? Why were you? I know
we can't report on that yet. But
no, I know.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to get that from him.
Okay.
Yes.
But you're obviously
Yes.
trying to get that. Right?
Yeah.
Did he say whether he's coming out today?
I should be getting it shortly. I believe he's speaking with an attorney.
If you get this before the end of the live stream or the show,
Obviously,
let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we now have some pretty stunning details now about the settlement between Justin Bieber and Scooter Braun. We told you that they have settled their differences. Justin owes Scooter around $31 million. This is a combination of money that Scooter's company fronted to pay off a loan that Justin owed to AEG, $26 million. And then another $5.5 million, which represents about half of commissions that Justin still owed Scooter. So we found out, they have settled this, and we told you that. Now the news, we found out that Justin doesn't have to pay the money under the terms of this settlement until the sale of Haley's company, Rhode Beauty, is not only finalized, but funded, meaning until all that money comes into their bank account.
Once Haley and Justin get their money from the Rhode sale,
then he'll pay the Scooter money back.
It's kind of like, what was the old line from Popeye?
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. But the reason they did it in this case is, look, we talked about this many times before. Justin, a couple of years ago was just flat broke. And he sold his music catalog for $200 million. Well, he had to borrow a credit card to play golf.
Right.
So he sold his music catalog a year and a half ago for $200 million. What we're told, Charlie, you know this too, we were told that even with that $200 million,
all of that money,
he doesn't have enough money to pay back this settlement.
Yeah, and so if you remember, Haley sold her company, Rhode, for $1 billion. Look, she doesn't get all that money, but we're told that
there are other investors.
There's other investors. Actually, one of the investors is Justin himself, who's supposed to get about $50 million. So he can't pay back what he agreed with Scooter until all that money comes in. And once he does, then he'll, be squared out. But I think it's so ironic that his wife, Haley, like if it wasn't for her company, he wouldn't be able to pay back his debt.
I mean, it's true. The settlement is contingent on that sale going through and getting the money, which is going to take a month to 2 months, we're told. But even if Justin is going to get around $50 million, I'm told he gets about he had a 5% interest or something like that. So he'll get about $50 million. But remember, some of that goes to taxes. And, that may not be enough money to actually pay back the full $31 million that he owes. And he's kind of relying on his wife's beauty company there.
Yeah, and actually, since we broke this story this morning, Harvey, Haley's team gave me a statement. They said the historic sale of Rhode is a huge accomplishment for Haley and is completely separate from her husband and his business affairs.
Well, it isn't.
Right.
It isn't. They're trying to make it clear. I think what it sounds like they're trying to say is, we didn't sell the company just so Justin would have the money. We happened to sell the company, and yes, it's...
Okay, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So let's connect the dots. Justin can't pay back a $31 million loan. That's a ton of money for anybody, but in Justin's world, he should have $31 million.
People would think because of the catalog sale. Right.
Because he needed the sale of this company. So I know they're saying that it's an historic sale, but...
I mean, it is an historic sale,
They seem to need some money in order to live the way they want to live, because he couldn't pay back a big debt that he owed without the sale of that company. So I'm not saying she sold it just to cover Justin's debt, but it seems to connect.
I just want to take this
Perfect time.
opportunity to ask our audience what they think of this. Seems like they're just obsessed with Charlie at the moment.
Oh,
Everyone loves Charlie. Grumpstar wants you to know that he has a big crush on you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Charlie.
Right.
Let's keep doing this.
Yeah,
Any more
exactly.
questions? Any more feedback for me?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Anyway, I mean, this is, I know you're saying this is kind of rich man's poor, but it's not really.
I mean, but you can't make it sound like Justin was about to be like living on the streets.
He's not.
Right.
He owns houses, mansions.
Right, exactly.
Flies
but
private
he was
jets.
definitely strapped, especially for as much as he had accomplished. That's the stunning part of it.
What really stuns me is we know in 2022 he was flat broke. He sold his music catalog a year later. And you would think, okay, I just blew maybe up to $1 billion. I'm not going to do that again. But the 200 million is gone.
Because that's his lifestyle. That's his lifestyle.
So he's got an album, and you don't make money.
By the way, and that's not a shot at Justin Bieber. That's everyone in his position.
I know, but
That's just the lifestyle.
what's he gonna do? Because he's recorded an album. He does not like touring, so that's where you make money is touring.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not gonna tour, I suppose.
You know what he's going to do?
What?
He's going to headline Coachella.
How much money can you make off of Coachella?
How much did Beyonce make? Like 10 million reportedly?
You know,
He loves Palm
So
Springs for one.
Okay, let me tell you.
He's always there.
Got it. Let me tell you what would happen to $10 million. 10 million becomes 5 million because of taxes, right?
Right.
And then he's got to pay 15% to a manager, 5% to a lawyer.
I don't want you to kill my theory.
5%,
I want to see him. I want to see him
5% to
perform
an-
at Coachella.
I understand that, but all I'm saying to you is that it sounds like a ton of money, but when you start whittling it away with taxes, accountants,
Well, you just
lawyers,
made this story
managers,
not fun at all, but
and
thank you.
and by the way, and one other thing,
That's what he does.
Yeah.
That
Kills the
money
fun.
that he settled goes to Hybe, which is Scooter's company, but Scooter sold the company, and Hybe is going to get that money. But Hybe still has even though Justin now owns his own music, according to the settlement, Hybe still has a cut of what he does in the future for a certain period of time. So all of these things get whittled away. So you can make a lot of money, but it goes away real quick.
I feel like you're like
What are you
giving me
laughing at?
financial advice right now.
I mean, it's true though.
No,
What a downer.
they're asking if you guys buy. Do
Shirts.
Charles and Harvey shop at the same place for their t-shirts?
This, by the way, this happens. No, we don't.
It happens
and this
all the
happens
time.
all the
Yeah.
time. We end up wearing the same color shirt. By the way, look around. What are you talking about, Jackson?
You're
Jackson's got a black
Jackson's
shirt.
wearing
Look behind
turn
you.
the camera. Jackson's wearing hold on. Jackson's wearing
Harvey's gonna
Grab the
break it.
camera and that's about
Harvey's
to be a
gonna break it.
No,
catastrophe.
Jackson.
Oh God!
Oh God.
This is a disaster waiting to
Well,
happen.
no,
You're making Rob cringe
He's
right
wearing
now.
exactly what Charles is wearing.
Rob is cringing
that
right
shirt
now.
is about $200 less than the one you're wearing.
That's true.
Look
behind you.
That's
$57. Bet me.
No, I'm not betting you.
Look at the camera guy. It's all black.
Look at this.
Look at him.
Brendan's in black.
Cameron
Look
over
at
there.
Rob's
Rob's
over
in
here.
black.
Bob's in black.
Bob's on
Everybody's
black.
wearing black.
I've got on black. Prince got on
Keith?
black.
Anakin's wearing black.
Listen, Jay
Branson's wearing
these two.
black. Everybody's wearing black.
Branson's got on black.
Okay.
The shirts you guys are wearing.
Okay.
What?
That's a $300 shirt.
That's not a three.
This is 57.
All right.
There's a difference.
Okay, I know. Jackson, come with me.
We got to
me.
talk about the ESPYs last night.
I know. I want
Are
to go
you
to.
showing off
I want
some
to go to
more?
Edward. No, I want to go to Edward.
No. Where are
What?
you going? Oh.
Edward.
Does Edward have the video up
Yeah,
there?
you got the video, right?
You want to pull up the video? Me? Yeah.
No, we got it. Hold on a second. Harvey,
Can we?
I have the video
Oh, sorry.
cut properly, but Edward should come over. Come on over, Edward.
Come on, Edward. Okay, Charles has got the video. This is hysterical. Okay, so last night the ESPYs went down.
Yeah.
And they always have somebody kind of lead it off, a comedian. Shane Gillis did it.
Hang on a second. Now we're done with Denise at
Yeah.
this point. We're moving on from this.
Okay, Jackson, come to me.
Right, because we're gonna start the.
So the ESPYs were last night, and they always start with a comedian. And the comedian kind of does a roast for 5 minutes, and it's usually just funny,
Silly
but not
jokes.
but not necessarily brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal last night.
Shane Gillis went in on everybody. I mean, there was no punches held. We're gonna place which part?
Do you
are
have
we
the
playing?
video?
I think we're starting with
You gotta play.
we're starting with the Caitlin Clark.
So the Caitlin Clark's
Because you got to remember that this is the ESPYs. This is the ESPYs after the WNBA has had an historic year. Caitlin Clark is the toast of the entire league, and
This is so
Yes.
funny. This is so funny. You got to watch this.
hang on a second.
Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes. When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist fighting black women.
Okay. It's funny. It's funny.
It was fun. No, it is very funny. And if anyone's
That's
been to a
obviously-
Waffle House,
It's obviously the reference of her being bullied on the court by WNBA players, but he
hold on, bullied.
I mean, we've seen
Whatever.
that. She
does. She gets
beat
ganged
up
up on.
every day.
She gets ganged up on.
So
When you're a great player,
It's jealousy.
he took those kind of
God.
small storylines and made them into these kind of big jokes, right? Like there was one about Simone Biles being short and having a lot of gold and basically referring to her as a leprechaun. There was
Bill Belichick.
There was jokes about
She and I
Bill
have a lot in
Belichick and his
common.
24-year-old girlfriend and reading her a bookie and
But
Actually, there was-
eating pills.
the
Yeah.
best joke of the night, has to
Also
do
about
with
the
the WNBA.
WNBA. Yes.
This is hysterical. Watch this. Watch
this is how you roast not just 1, 2, 3, 4
The
people,
whole audience.
the entire audience.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players.
That is
That's crazy. You clap for that.
that is hysterical.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all just
Once
embarrassed.
they realize, like, oh,
They're all totally embarrassed.
People are saying that Shane's cool. People think that it's funny, and it doesn't seem like anyone's offended by it.
People were
It was
offended by
soft
it.
work.
People were offended
There
by
was
it.
some, and really, Sarah Spain, ESPN personality, or used to be an ESPN personality, thought that it was offensive and it made jokes against women and the WNBA, and it was, but I mean, to that point, the other people were saying, "Are you offended by comedy? Like this is what he's supposed to
Do you know who started? No. Do you know who started this problem? Seriously, Tom Brady.
with the
When
roast.
Tom Brady was roasted, afterward he started criticizing the roast because they would dare talk about Giselle, which everybody knew, and he knew they were going to do right. And then he said, well, it upset my kids. Well, you knew what was happening when you agreed to do a roast.
Nothing's off limits when you do the roast, and even these
Actually,
things,
there was
right?
supposed
Like Shane even said it from time to time. He was like, "Disney's letting me do this. Can you guys believe it?"
Shane killed.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and we talked about that in the morning meeting, right? Like if he had done it a little more tame, you would have roasted him the other way. You'd be like, "Why did he not take more shots?" and all this stuff. I mean, and like we talked about as well. This was the headline of the ESPYs. There was no other headline. It was Shane.
We haven't
Gillis
talked about a single thing other
who
than
won
that.
an award.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander won like best athlete. The Eagles won best team, but who cared? I mean, this is what everybody's talking
Wait a minute,
about.
how did the Eagles win best team if they lost the Super Bowl?
No, they won the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, they beat the
Yeah,
Chiefs. Smashed. They
Oh, the
smashed-
Chiefs, I was
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Simone Biles won some awards, but yeah, none of the awards got any sort of attention that the way this is getting, and that's what the ESPYs want, right? You want headlines and attention.
Yeah, because
He's doing
otherwise
the right
nobody
thing.
would be
And
talking about it the next day,
yeah.
and that's the
Nobody
whole
tunes
point
in,
of
right? Yeah.
doing these award shows. By the way,
We have a
there
comment. Roy Curlin says that this has been the best ESPY monologue since Norm Macdonald.
Oh, wow.
That's
Norm Macdonald is a legend.
I vaguely
praise.
remember that.
Shane actually made a
High
reference to
praise.
Norm Macdonald in this. He made a Travis Hunter joke similar to Norm's Charles Woodson joke. He paid homage to him during the show. So yeah.
there was, of course, there's an award show. There have to be an Epstein moment, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to hear it.
There was an Epstein moment.
Oh, here we go.
Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
That's hysterical. Oh my God. He pulled that off too.
Sure did.
Oh my gosh.
He's great.
Okay.
He was really great.
We are going to move on.
Where are we going next?
We are going to J-Lo.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez finally addressed the thing that everyone talks about with her is, will she get married again? Because, how many is she on now?
4. She finished 4.
The next would be her 5th.
Right.
And she said after she and Ben broke up that she was going to take some time. She wasn't going to be dating. She just wanted to learn more about herself. So last night she was performing in Spain.
In Spain.
Yeah. And
so there's a sign that somebody holds up in the audience.
Right. Which you probably sees frequently at her concerts. But this is her reaction to it.
Somebody had a sign that said, "J-Lo, marry me."
Yeah, I tried that a few times. Anyway.
Yeah.
So she.
That's shade.
Well, you know, it's not
shade. It's actually.
She wanted it.
That's growth.
No, but
she wanted that.
She wanted that. I mean, she didn't have to call that sign out.
You don't think she's shading Ben Affleck?
No, she's shading.
It's not a shade of Ben Affleck.
It's not shading.
You say, I already tried that before. Sorry, guys.
It's self-awareness.
Okay.
The only thing I'm going to say is this. Yes, she definitely wanted that moment. Was it choreographed? That she wanted, and again, I'm not saying she did it as they shot at Ben, but she wanted to acknowledge the thing that people are thinking about her, right? So this was her way of sort of working it into the show. Or it could have been just completely natural, and that's just what was in her mind.
So, I mean, look, she can pick. Marry Me is an obvious thing you would do at a concert like that with Jennifer Lopez to get noticed, right? So whether she did it or not, she didn't have to acknowledge it, whether she did intentionally or not. It is a sign of self-awareness.
Can we get to the question, which is, should J-Lo get married again?
She should not get married again.
You think she should not?
Who's figured? Do we know how many times has she?
Alexa did
she's been married 4 times,
research
right?
Yeah,
on
I've been really diving into
J-Lo's
this.
marriage
So I've created
failures.
quite the timeline. So she started her first marriage with Ojani Noah in 1997.
Oh, honey.
Ohani Noah. Yeah.
Sorry, this is all new to me, so that's why I'm doing my research.
Ohani Noah.
Because
Just so you know,
much of this is before Alexa would
It
even.
is.
Ohani
It's
Noah
BA.
was either a waiter or a manager at a restaurant that she had been to,
He worked there.
and he worked there,
yeah.
and she almost immediately married him.
Basically.
And it lasted
Only a year.
a year.
Very short-lived. He actually did an interview in 2024 with Daily Mail and said that she shouldn't get married ever again. So this is kind of her taking her first husband's advice.
Okay, so that was the first marriage.
That was the
20 years
first
later.
marriage. And then second marriage was Chris Judd.
Who was a backup dancer for J-Lo.
Correct. They met during their music video filming for Love Don't Cost a Thing in 2001. Married 2 years.
Okay, well, double.
Next
So
up.
Also, yeah, double the first one. Next up is Mark Anthony, who they met collaborating on music in 1998, but didn't get married until 2004. They were together for 10 years and had twins in 2008.
Okay, well, that
By
worked.
all accounts,
So-
her most successful.
It worked.
I would say so
Union.
for sure.
And we know about
Plus,
the last
they had
one.
the twins and
Yeah, and then
We know the last
obviously
one.
there's Ben.
and then there's Ben Affleck. But Ben Affleck was first time around. Ben Affleck was after Chris Judd, right?
Right.
Yeah.
After Chris
Was
Judd, they
after
were
Chris
engaged.
Judd.
'Cause they met
They got
in
engaged. That
2001,
fell apart. Then she marries Mark Anthony. Then gets engaged to Alex Rodriguez.
Right.
And then that fell apart.
Didn't happen.
And then Ben comes back.
And Casper Smart was somewhere in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, Casper was.
He was somewhere-
after,
somewhere
after
in the
Ben
middle.
Affleck.
So
Part one.
we did a documentary on J-Lo, on all of this stuff, on J-Lo and Ben, the warning signs before it all blew up.
Right.
And well, it did. I mean, and the word was that we got from like everybody we interviewed is she just falls in love so fast
She
and
loves
so
being in
hard
love.
that she doesn't let it kind of breathe to see how we're going to handle conflict. And she gets married at this high point and doesn't really know real life. And then all of a sudden real life sits in and it's
Right.
like, whoa. And
It's like Love Island.
So it sounds like she has learned something now, has decided. Wait, here's the thing.
it was
You know,
not definitive.
here's the
She did
thing.
not say definitive.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be married. She can find another relationship.
She wants to be married.
She's going to be married.
I got a
again.
question for you guys. How graphic can I be with these comments?
Now you've scared us.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. How about I'm going to take a look at this?
Yeah,
one?
why don't we do that?
I'm going to take a look at
Let
this
Charles
one.
bet them.
While he's
Take a look at
taking
that
look,
one.
We actually need to
Oh,
get
sorry,
this camera
this one.
cleaned. So Rob's going to come in and clean our lens really quickly.
Oh,
We're looking at some
no, we
comments.
definitely can't do that.
I thought it'd be funny.
No.
I thought it'd be funny.
This dude wants to read like a porn comment.
No, it's not a porn. It's Harvey.
No,
it's
it's-
not.
if
It's not
Charles
porn.
said no,
it's porn
It's not.
humor.
Charles said
It's
no.
not-
No.
Hey, this is the same guy that made that other comment yesterday.
Great.
The bottom line is, most people say she should not get married. And if you listen to that sound, listen to it one more time. She does not definitively say she's not going to get married again. She leaves it
She
open.
says, I've tried that. No.
No, but she doesn't definitively say not going to happen.
Not to be lost in the whole what she said. Did you see what she was wearing?
No, she's, undeniable.
Mic up for me one more time.
Undeniable. Beauty can be a curse.
Mic up.
Indeed.
So we hear.
All right.
Okay.
We have a couple of comments that are okay. They're not porn comments. So people are saying Jennifer's a superficial narcissist. J-Lo is disgraceful. She shouldn't be receiving any attention at all. That's from Primo and Joker's Wild.
Everyone has their opinions.
Yeah. I mean, look, you cannot deny what a huge star she is and talented. I mean, you can't deny that.
No, people do, but you're right.
You
they
really
shouldn't.
can't.
If you deny it, you're just hating.
This is actually literally a scene from her 2022 movie with Owen Wilson.
Okay.
Where he's in the crowd and Owen's daughter in the movie holds up a sign that says "Marry Me," and the plot is.
Hey.
But that could be somebody in the.
Oh.
But that could be somebody in the cast, or somebody in the audience who knew that and just held it up. It doesn't mean she's the one that orchestrated it.
No.
Interesting
I
anecdote,
don't
Eric.
think it's fake, but it is interesting that she called
Yeah.
it out after that movie.
Okay.
All right.
I want to take a breather for a second. Can somebody in my ear tell me, in terms of time and everything, are we good?
Meantime, I can talk to our audience if you need a breather.
Okay, good.
Let's actually,
Where are we going,
hundreds of new
see
people
now
have
James
joined. We're at
next. All right.
665 viewers.
Okay.
I want to see where everyone's from. We have hundreds of new viewers. If everyone can just shout out, what city are you watching from? And also, Harvey looks like he needs a good morning. If everyone can spam good
Need
morning
what?
Harvey in the chat. We need a good morning. We need a nice good morning.
It's hard for me to give you a nice good morning.
No, as in our viewers, our audience should show you some appreciation and say good morning, Harvey.
Yeah, no, I would like that because honestly, I've had a really rough morning.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I had a big tub of protein powder that I was trying to get off a shelf, and it hit me in the eye. No, it doesn't. I put something on it because it seemed to be okay this morning, and then I swim and I put my goggles on, and my whole eye is just.
We've got Denver, Winston, UK, Limerick Island, North Carolina, Knoxville, Tennessee. Everyone's saying good morning.
Oh, from the
OC,
South.
Missouri, Indy, Netherlands, Princeton, Winnipeg, Oklahoma, Baltimore.
Everybody's from the East Coast.
Everyone's sending you good mornings and hearts, and this is really
Morning,
lovely. I
everybody.
love the engagement
Nobody
we're
from
receiving.
California.
This is great.
You got a little from California.
We had someone from Compton in this morning, so that's our Californian right there.
Lots of Canadians.
Oceanside, California. There we go.
Okay, good. What's the matter?
No, Devin was just pointing out some Google stats, things that
Devin,
people are
wake
looking
up.
up.
Yeah.
That story that we
That
are.
story?
It is just that guy's name is by far
guy's
the
name
biggest thing that people are
Is
searching.
insane.
Has anything surfaced from
you
what we
called
were
the
talking
company?
about? Jamie?
Like who's
Without
calling the company?
saying directly, has anything surfaced from what we were trying to find, whether there
calling
was
that guy's company?
Probably.
company?
If you want to walk over there, we can.
The guy who's at
who's
the
looking
concert.
at the company?
Oh yeah. We have made calls on it. Nothing yet. I mean, the guy
Does that
hasn't
company have a media relations?
Yeah, we've asked Alexa to look into it. Nothing
But
back.
follow up on that, and also.
And we're
have we
looking at the
called
website and
And we
everything?
called his office. if he's
Cameron?
gonna make a
Yeah.
comment.
Let me ask you this. I mean, can we reach out directly to him and the other woman?
Yes.
I don't see why not.
Okay, good.
His wife's name's also in that thread.
I don't think we should call her. No. The two people involved, yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
so
let's talk.
we're going to do.
We're going to do Perry.
What is it?
Perry
Daniela?
Farrell.
Oh, Perry Farrell. Right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So we told you yesterday about Dave Navarro filing this lawsuit against Perry Farrell over the Jane's Addiction reunion tour that blew up in Boston last September. They had a huge fight on stage. Perry Farrell goes off, shoves Dave Navarro, then he gets tackled. Dave and the other members of Jane's Addiction sued Perry Farrell yesterday. Late yesterday.
For assault and battery.
Yes. Late yesterday.
The other members sued for
Because they had to kill the tour,
right.
And they lost a lot of money.
Right.
Because of that.
Perry Farrell filed late yesterday his own lawsuit against his former band members. And he says that what we saw on stage was just the start of what happened, because you saw everyone gather around him and then he gets taken backstage. They all went backstage. And according to this lawsuit, there was a lot more violence that went on backstage.
So he's saying that Dave Navarro attacked him backstage and his wife.
His wife first. Perry said that he assaulting
wife.
Perry's wife, and then when Dave did that, Perry went up to stop it, and he says Dave punched him, and that started the animosity.
Right.
Well,
that particular night.
But here's what I don't understand. It was after Perry attacked Navarro on stage.
By the way, there's an explanation for that also, which, listen, Eric and I talk a lot about music. By the way, I'm just going to do a little shameless plug. We have a podcast called Get to the Hook, where we talk about interesting things in music every week. And so we have a lot of these conversations.
We had one about this when it happened.
Yes, and we did cover this. What Perry Farrell is saying in this lawsuit about why the fight started on stage, I've never heard a front man say this, that he was angry at Dave because Dave's amp was too high and he couldn't hear himself as he was singing. That's not on Perry or Dave, that's
the sound guy.
Right,
That particular complaint that artists have trouble hearing themselves in their ear monitor, that's all the time you see that. You see artists ripping it out because it doesn't sound good, or sometimes they'll yell, bring this up in my mic or whatever.
Yell to the sound guy,
but they
adjust
don't
it.
yell at the band members. It's not the guitar players playing
But here's
too
the thing,
loud.
even if it was Dave Navarro's fault, it does not justify Perry attacking Dave
but
and
I'm just
hitting
saying,
him.
it's a bizarre thing for a front man to say,
But
his amp is
I mean,
too
it's
loud,
not-
and then I'm going to come over and then I'm going to shove you.
Right,
Like,
it's not a defense.
Well, it's the least rock and roll thing also. I mean, the old phrase is if it's too loud, you're too old.
Maybe you shouldn't be on stage.
So people are saying that Pharrell is having a bit of mental health issues. You should give him a break. That was from Rick Puck.
Well, that was in the lawsuit that Dave and the other members filed against Perry. They did acknowledge that he'd been going through something, and we know that a week or 2 weeks after that fight last September, Perry's wife came out and said that he needs to get some neurological treatment. I mean, she wasn't specific about what it was.
Everybody kind of agreed he was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
They never got very specific about what it was, but
Do you know whose fault
he wasn't in a
this
good
is?
place.
Seriously? All of them. That clearly they weren't ready to go on stage. And we've seen a million times when bands postpone a tour because of a medical issue or a mental health issue. And it's almost like this was an inevitable thing. I mean, there was already tension. And the idea that he's going through this and you throw him on stage, maybe they all should have known better.
Well, they should have because of the history of the band. Jane's Addiction has broken up multiple times over the years.
Right.
There's always been some tension and just animosity in between those members. They were trying to make this work one more time. I think people are looking at the Oasis tour like, is this same thing going to happen? For artists that you know fight, they try and hold it together and tour, and sometimes it blows up. Usually not on stage like that.
This to me, is a testament to the awesomeness of the Rolling Stones. No, I'm serious. 1963, this band stayed together from then until now. They had their rough spots.
And I'm a huge fan, and I hear what you're saying, and overall that's true. But they've definitely had rough spots where they just didn't play together for a while.
But they've never had this.
No.
Listen, the Beatles couldn't last a decade.
Actually, a band that held it together when they didn't like each other was Aerosmith. We did see Joe Perry and Steve Tyler pushing each other on stage. There was very obvious, palpable animosity.
That's true.
They held it together for the fans, and they're like, you know what? Whatever our issues are, if we're going to tour, we're going to play. And then when they got to the point they couldn't,
They did have a lawsuit at the end, right?
Everything ends in lawsuits.
Right, the drummer ended up suing.
Well,
So-
the funniest thing is, I did a documentary with Steven Tyler, And I asked him about the fights with Joe Perry, and he said, the problem is that the band suffers from LSD, lead singer disorder. And he said that the lead singer always just
Well,
gets
that's a
the
rock and roll
attention,
thing.
and that
Right.
Joe Perry, who's this great guitarist, was just pissed off that Steven Tyler was getting all the attention.
Right.
So it's all LSD.
Yes,
So you
indeed.
imagine what Keith thinks of Mick secretly.
Secretly. But they get along on
read
stage.
They get along.
Read Keith's book. He's very open about it.
I read Keith's book.
Nick.
Keith's
Yes.
book is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Changing gears.
Yes, big time.
Okay. So it looks like this horrific Air India crash a few weeks ago was an intentional act by the pilot. Everything is leading to that. You know that the preliminary report showed that both engines of this 787, which is the most recent, most technologically,
Right, this is
sophisticated Boeing aircraft,
The Dreamliner.
never crashed before. That it got 650 feet in the air. The engines are they stop, and the plane falls and then crashes into a building.
And what they've now discovered is from the
Voice-
cockpit
the voice-
recorder
yeah.
that there was a conversation between the pilot and the co-pilot. The co-pilot said, "Why did you cut off the fuel?" All of the fuel lines were cut off moments after takeoff.
No, not moments. The plane was only in the air a minute.
Right.
So it was at 650 feet at its height. Almost immediately after takeoff, the pilot, it turns out, is the one who shut down the engines. The co-pilot says, "Did you shut off the engines?" And he's panicked. And the pilot very calmly says, "No." Now here's the evidence. That now it's coming out from people who were around this pilot, who, by the way, had 15,000 hours in the air, so he was an experienced pilot, that he had taken a medical leave for mental health issues, suffered from depression, and those are real warning signs. Janet, I haven't even, I don't remember exactly this, but there was, hold on.
I got you.
Well, I got to see who it is. Oh.
No.
Okay. The way to shut off an engine, it
Right.
couldn't be accidental. The way this works.
It's literally made so that everything can be, there's so many guards up so that it can't be switched off accidentally. So there's the center console, and then there's each engine levers and a switch, right? And what you have to do is first make sure that the lever, the thrust lever, is put on idle. And then on the actual switch, there's actually like a stop lock mechanism. So like a pill bottle or something, you have to push and twist. You have to lift and twist to put it on
and
to
you have
run
to
or
do it
cut
for
off.
each engine.
For each
So
engine.
each engine requires
Right.
these multiple acts of moving things around. The co-pilot actually took off. He's the one that took off. And so the pilot had time to do whatever he was going to do. The co-pilot's concentrating on flying the airplane, and all of a sudden he realizes something's wrong, and he said, "Did you shut this off?" He had to lift that
Do
little
the lever and then,
then turn
twist, lift and twist.
and lift and twist, and then lift and twist
And
again.
the problem they have is that they're only a minute into the flight. They don't have enough altitude.
Right.
So even though he
Restarted
restarts, it's not enough time. And that's why you saw the video of this crash was just horrific, because you see it, they never ever get full lift, and then they just slowly go down. But it is just terrifying to know that I'm not one to be an alarmist, and I don't fear air travel, but you have to think about the fact that every time you get in a plane, you are literally at
you're at the pilot's mercy.
At the mercy of the pilot.
No
and
mechanical
whatever
problem. This has happened before.
This has happened before. The Egypt Air in 1999, the same kind of thing happened. The co-pilot was in the cockpit, and the pilot had went to go to the bathroom or something, so he was in charge, and he disengaged the autopilot and then did the lever, put it to idle, and the same kind of thing. It also happened.
And they made an attempt to try, and the
pilot came back in and tried to fix it. And
I was a local reporter in LA, and I remember there was a PSA airliner that crashed in San Luis Obispo where the pilot just drove it into the ground.
Yeah, that was like a controlled descent. That was in '87, I think.
Right.
And that same kind of thing. I think that was actually, didn't the guy hijack the plane, like an former employee?
No, it was the pilot.
Oh, it was the pilot.
It was the
Okay.
pilot.
Yeah. Got it.
So, and then there was one that they flew into the Swiss Alps.
Swiss Alps, yep.
So, I mean, this happens. And, you know,
we just released a poll, actually. We let our audience vote on what they think. Did the Air Indian pilot intentionally cause the crash?
Right.
Yes.
What do you think won, yes or
They
no?
had to say yes with all the evidence.
78% said yes.
Yeah, it's there's very little question. No mechanical problem.
And there's no argument from, I mean, the pilot just very calmly, the way
He
the
denies
pilot
it.
says,
He denies it.
No, I did not. But there's no effort from the pilot to try and turn this around.
Exactly.
The pilot's just sort of.
There's no way you can do that accidentally.
Exactly.
And it was definitely turned off, definitely turned back on. Couldn't have been done accidentally. And when you listen to the voice recorder, it's the co-pilot who's panicked, and the pilot is just calm about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now this whole thing is coming out about depression. You know, there's this thing. After one or two of these happened over the years, they had this protocol that sometimes, like a flight attendant will go in if the co-pilot goes to the bathroom.
They never leave a crew member alone.
But
in the cockpit.
what is a flight attendant going to do?
I always wonder that too. When you see them changing, and when the pilot gets up to go to the bathroom, and then a flight attendant goes in, I always think,
what's a flight attendant going to do?
They could take direction from the co-pilot, from the other
co-pilots in the bathroom.
No. I'm saying either if it doesn't matter. If the co-pilot or pilot goes to the bathroom, a flight attendant goes in.
And what do they do?
They're going to take direction from the actual pilot.
And
that's there.
what if the pilot is the one? I mean, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but what if the pilot is the one who wants to do what the pilot of the Air India did? What is the flight attendant going to do?
It's just crazy.
Try to stop
this
it.
guy-
How?
You know what? They're probably trained.
Well, you don't even know what the buttons are if you're a flight attendant because there are a million buttons. You're not a pilot.
Right.
And so they can mess with buttons, and it's like, you know, there you go.
It's just weird that this guy was literally like 3 flights
I'm
away.
sorry, but
Yeah. Let's.
you scared now?
No, I don't. Because listen, these things, as we've discussed, they happen, but it is still extremely rare. And the reality is that the airlines do actually require pilots to come in, and they have testing. They check on their
T-Baby, a
mental
commenter
state.
of ours, T-Baby, is saying they need to do mental health checks, but more
They do.
often.
And maybe they need to do them more often. But they do actually do those mental health checks.
And when this happens, they always find their mental health issues, obviously, with 241 people here died.
That's-
One
yeah, you gotta
miraculously. And in my lifetime, I don't
guy-
remember anything that was more of a miracle than this.
Yeah, because
That
it was
a
an
guy-
exit row.
And he actually walked away from it.
Is there what's
What?
Matson's death certificate came in.
Who?
Michael
Michael
Madsen,
Madsen.
cardiac arrest, and
Oh, really?
alcoholism.
Is that something we want to do?
I mean, we had been told by the rep that they believed it was cardiac arrest, but it's cardiac arrest, coronary artery disease, and alcoholism. He was well documented that he had.
How old was he?
I mean, he was only like in his 50s, right?
So wait a minute, when did he? So
Michael Madsen died? Was it last
week?
No, it
Saturday?
was a couple weeks ago.
4th of July weekend, right? July 3rd. that's
July
right.
3rd?
July 3rd.
Yeah, he was 67, but
Where
still.
did he die?
In
67?
Malibu. At his
And
house.
just died at his house?
Yeah, one of his friends went to the house and found him in bed, so they thought like he was sleeping and had a heart attack.
Did he have a history of heart disease?
Not that, but he had a history of struggles with alcohol.
Right,
He was in
right.
and out of rehab.
Right,
we
right.
covered a lot of his arrests.
Got it.
But,
Got it.
Well, that's weird. Did they say in the death certificate that alcoholism
Yeah, that was
a
listed
contributing
as
factor?
a contributing factor.
That's odd.
Is it?
Well, I'm just.
It says cardiac arrest, alcoholism.
Alcoholism can absolutely lead to a heart attack.
So coronary.
That checks out.
Coronary artery disease, something else, cardiac arrest, and then alcoholism.
Yeah, I mean, just so you guys understand, this is all public record. All of these death certificates are public record, and a lot of times it kind of unlocks a mystery. Sometimes it doesn't, but this one clearly did.
Yeah.
This wasn't deferred pending like a toxicology report.
No, it wasn't.
So it must have clearly been a heart attack.
Yeah, clearly, and they probably just didn't have the toxicology.
Right.
It's got addresses on it.
Oh, okay, my bad. I don't think you can really see it.
Who sent the
okay.
Katy Perry?
So Yeah.
I got
it. Okay, so again, we are kind of going down a list of things that we're working on and things that we're going to put on the television show today as well. By the way, if you want to watch TMZ Live and see how we put this all together, you can just, it's on all over the country. You can just check your local listings,
as they say.
Okay, let's end things with something fun.
You want to get to Katy Perry?
This is the most unlikely thing I have seen in my office. This is the most unlikely.
Oh, that part.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
so,
first we should point out what happened at the Katy Perry concert last night. She performed, let me get rid of that. That's a downer.
She performed in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And so she performs in Los Angeles.
And she does a part of the show where she allows people to vote on a song she's going to do.
Right.
And you might say it backfired because the song that people picked was kind of a downer breakup song, and considering she's going through the breakup with Orlando, although they seem pretty okay with it. So.
And I'm going to try not to cry. Don't worry, I won't cry. It's called Not Like the Movies.
Yeah, so we're not going to play Not Like the Movies because we can't afford it.
By the way, I think that's really
interesting.
interesting.
It's a breakup song.
But it's really interesting she said, I'll try not to cry. Because it's almost, I don't think
remember, she doesn't know that that's, at least, that's the bit, right? When she says, you guys get to vote on the song, and she has no idea which one it's going to be.
She is cool with Orlando Bloom.
Here's the part that is unexpected.
Okay, this is
we
crazy.
had someone in our office who was at the concert.
If you went, before you show, if you went around our room and you wanted to pick the least likely person you would say, he's going to the Katy Perry concert, it's him. Cameron.
It's not Charlie.
It's not Charlie, it's Cameron.
I've been a Katy fan for a long time. Now listen, when the QR code was brought up during the concert and they told the fans to vote, obviously 20,000 people inside the forum, the connection's not the best. We click the QR code, everybody's trying to vote, nobody's able to vote. My screen is like basically nothing's loading, my girlfriend's screen's nothing loading. Everybody around us, their screens are not loading. And then she goes and says, like after 2 minutes, hey, has everybody voted? The majority of the stadium was shouting no, and then they put up the 2 songs they're going to perform, and then to me it just seems completely staged. Like she knew she was going to perform these 2 songs, but she wanted to make it a whole thing and be like, really, this is what you guys are going to make me do, is sing these sad emotional songs? It was staged.
How much sleep did you get?
It was staged. I got like 3.5 hours of sleep that night, and I still came into work, so no excuse.
Oh God!
By the way, pro tip for you: when you're in the forum, they actually have Wi-Fi you can get on.
Well, that might have been my issue too, but
Yes.
but everybody around me was having the same issue. It
Yeah,
wasn't
because
just my
most people
issue.
don't even notice don't know it, but now you know.
Now I know.
We will see you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Okay, that's our television show,
that's
guys.
the TV show.
Yeah. So,
but we should any questions, comments?
Guys, so we're about to end stream. If there's any pressing questions, comments, concerns you have for Harvey or Charles, now's the time to fire them off, because in a few minutes here, we're going to be going down, and you'll have to tune back in at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning Pacific Coast time.
I just want to ask a question. I don't know if you guys saw this thing that President Trump said about, he had posted something that he'd spoken to Coca-Cola, and they are going to start using real sugar instead of corn syrup. Coke has kind of refuted that, but he claims this. Do you care?
Oh, people care.
Do you care about it?
Yeah. Anybody who's had Mexican Coke, it's just better. It's just better.
A lot of things in like different countries are just better. Like if you, Charles, hear me out, KFC in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Totally different than KFC in America.
Yes, it's
so
totally
much
different.
better, so much better.
Right.
One thing
So we care about the Coke. Oh, what do you
People
guys
totally care about the Coke.
One thing people want to know, a lot of people have asked this question. They said this live stream looks fun, the office looks fun, looks like we get work done, looks really informative. How do they get a job here? What do they do? What do they have to do to work at TMZ and to work with such a cool boss like Harvey Levin and TMZ?
Nobody said
I swear,
nobody said. You show me that they said such a cool boss like Harvey.
Love you guys.
Nobody said that.
No, Harvey seems like such an awesome boss.
He can't stand that. Here's the answer. No, I got an
Love
answer.
you guys.
I got an
have so
answer.
much fun.
I got an answer.
How do I get here?
Oh, you want an answer?
Yeah.
Black shirt, blue jeans. That's all it takes. Black shirt, blue jeans, you get a job.
And you're in. This guy's hanging by a thread in his
Really?
t-shirt.
No kidding.
Hey, someone's asking if Kohberger is going to address the families.
Oh, at his.
I don't think.
He might.
He's a psychopath. So God knows.
I don't know that the families would want him to.
Well,
That is going to.
they don't have control over that.
No, I know.
They don't have control over that.
They don't.
And the sentence is already the sentence. I mean, he's already agreed to the sentence.
Going to prison for life.
But will he address it? He could absolutely address it.
I think we'll end the stream with this comment right here. Doing live streams is one of the best things TMZ has done.
Oh, cool.
I appreciate that, Johnny.
For one
Thank
day
you.
in. So.
Yeah, no, well, we've done live streams.
No, we've been doing it all week.
Yeah, we did it for Diddy.
That's right.
So yeah, no, this is the future. I mean, honestly, this is the future. So
No, we're going to keep doing it, whether or not they still like it.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like it or not, we're going to do it.
And
Okay.
We're going to be here.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow,
See you
guys.
tomorrow.